Yeah. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on.
I certainly hope so too. Let's give it a second. We are live, guys. There we are. But Vicky, people can now hear you, so stop talking shit about the chat. Sure you don't. Sure you don't. I'm sure. But now people can hear you. Anyways, what's up, guys? Sorry for the late start.
Not my fault, again.
I beg to differ. I really, really beg to differ. We have a wonderful show for you guys tonight, though.
Such a shit. Hello, everyone. Hi, Puma Fist.
Yeah,
Hello, real amazing Adam.
Let's just go through the chat. If Simple Jack, he says GG's. What does GG's mean?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he always says it.
Jack. Yeah.
But I always felt like asking would be stupid. But now I'm being stupid, I guess. Vicky says hi to Simple Jack. Simple Jack asks, soon? It wasn't soon enough.
But still not my fault.
Then I said, wake the fuck up, chat. Twitter is cancer. I'm alive. Yawn. Late and Ricada. The real official amazing Adam says hi, everyone. Pumafist says, what's up, witches and Polacks? Pumafist
and I'm the one that thought they couldn't talk. With it being so late. And here you are. Or is it? Never mind.
What?
I'm just interrupting.
You are. And that's pretty much it. Oh, good game. But there wasn't a game played. Oh, Kaiser Crimson _1 says, unlike a certain filthy frogget, I didn't pray to God to make my enemies ridiculous and easy to defeat, but I'm glad he did it as a freebie. Well,
go grifters.
Giraffes equal GG. Go grifters. Okay. Yeah. I know Montagraph from Medicare. He is a crazy boomer LARPer. He is crazy. That's for sure.
That is definitely a for sure.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Or the wackadoo decides to sue us too.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. Just what I need, another lawsuit. So anyway, we have a wonderful show for you guys tonight. We're going to be this is mostly a follow-up stream. Everything we're going to talk about is kind of just a follow-up to things we've already talked about. So yeah. I think the first thing we're going to talk about is, should we just knock out the Ricada stuff?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's go. There's JDA.
Yay!
Yeah. So let's watch,
I
guys.
love that.
No, wait, Montagraph. Oh, Montagraph is in the Rumble chat. You're defending your good name. You don't have a good name, Montagraph. You know you don't. In fact, let me talk to you real quickly. Like, no jokes. All right. This is a joke-free talk, Monty, from me to you. Okay. I'm gonna put all the bravado and bluster and internet comedy aside, and I'm gonna tell you something here. You have an image and branding problem. I do too, by the way. This is not a criticism. This is me to you. Me to you. Everything I said about you, the real stuff like the watermelon, which is still weird, and the joke stuff like the kid stuff, which is still weird. People can reasonably form those opinions about you because you made that really weird fucking movie.
I have an idea. Check this out. Set up a server. Take 2 minutes of the, let's say, juicy part. Okay? And then do what you said, but configure it in such a way that only a certain IP address could see at one time. If the same IP address tried to come back, it wouldn't work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You could also do cookies. And on top of that, you could also rearrange it in an order that would put the juicy stuff, as you quote it, at the end. Hold on.
No,
You can't
no,
get the
no.
next segment until the first one's gone.
Correct. But what I'm saying is, the only way to collectify the video in its entirety would all the people would have to be involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
They would have to get... Dude, that's a fucking brilliant. Okay, and then you could sell each frame for a certain amount. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking brilliant. That's brilliant. There's 30 frames per second. There's 60 seconds in a minute. And it's 2 minutes long, right? 30 frames per second. So it'd be 30 times 60. Should be
1800.
180 and then times 60 again. Oh my motherfucking god, that'd be intense.
You can charge a penny a frame.
No, $1 a frame.
$1 a frame.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
I'm putting my face on the line, buddy.
I don't
Not-
think it's your face that they're interested
No,
in.
not only my face, but
This is fucking weird.
no,
The melon's already in the ground, man.
correct.
That fucking melon's done been pregnant and reproduced numerous times over.
I'm sorry, guys.
Spreading his seed.
That's about as close to a money tree as you're gonna get, I guess.
The original recording was made in 2004. The quality is terrible. However, today I went and fucking digitally remastered it. Motherfucker's perfect now. The trolls are the only one that's interested, so why not, you know, they're going to have to give up a credit card, which means I'm going to find out their names, their addresses, in order to get the file.
Okay.
But Monty, you've got a real image problem on that issue because of what you made. Now, maybe that's not fair to you, but the world's not here to be fair to you, friend.
Well, I'm really sorry we had to watch that, guys. I should have screened the content before starting. That's right.
You
We
never
did this.
screen my content.
We did this when I didn't even watch the video yet.
Yeah,
And
thought
I am
I'd give you
very,
all-
very, very sorry, guys, because I feel like I've let you all down.
I thought I'd give you all a idea of what Monty is like.
Very weird.
Yeah. So what they wanted to do with the Melon video,
Mhm.
right, was sell frame by frame of the fucking thing. That way, work it like a subscriber kind of thing, right? And
Mhm.
you buy a frame, and then eventually you'd be able to put the whole movie together. Though I don't know why he'd need like lots of people buying the single frame, because one guy could spread it across the entire internet when it's
Well,
all said and done.
yeah, but it's like, to
It's
get
just
it all
stupid.
together, that person would have to spend $1,800.
It's
But
just all
but I
really
don't like, who would
stupid. But
like, who would pay $1,800 to put all that together?
nobody.
Like, they can laugh at you for free.
I know, right? Well, apparently the only part of the melon video is that very bit right there that I showed. The
Yeah,
rest of it he held on to, and he was gonna try
that's
to make
good.
people pay to watch it.
I mean, it's not good that he made it anyways, but it's good that he's
That's my
kept it to
understanding.
himself. That is
Thank
good.
God.
That is very good.
Yeah. And then there was the Umbrella Man movie. That's the one that we saw last week, the little clip of the girl in the piggy mask. That's where that stuff came from. And then the other one, I have no idea where it came from, but it's just gross as fuck.
Yeah.
Him using the Barbie doll's head as a spoon for chocolate pudding and then eating it and rolling it around in his mouth. It just
He is definitely a very,
he's definitely a yeah.
yeah, very strange individual. That's for sure.
Yeah. So on the 13th, Montagraph's attorney filed a motion for default judgment.
Yes.
And I guess that's what Montagraph was screaming about. However, when we first went into doing the video, this stuff wasn't available
Yeah,
up
it was not up
on
yet.
the website. So my favorite part of this actually, after he goes through and he tells us that, once again, restating the claim, because you got to do that, and then um, setting out the rules. Well, he does
Yeah,
that in a moment,
plaintiff
but he
retained counsel and complaint was served upon defendant with a summons by the Kandiyohi County Sheriff on December 12, 2022. The period of time for defendant to answer 20 days expired. Defendant has not answered the complaint and is now in default as described in Min R Civ P55.01. Pursuant to Min R Civ P5501B, plaintiff prays for an order from the court finding defendant's failure to answer the complaint within the time required by the law is the basis of the default judgment against defendant. Defendant offers legal opinions over the internet, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah,
he
blah, blah.
drinks, blah 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 blah. He
Yeah.
gets drunk on stream, blah 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 blah. He said mean things about my client,
Yes.
basically. Um, the the best part is down here. It says, on or about December 30th, 2022, defendant called the offices of Schneider and Madsen PC and requested an extension of time to retain a lawyer. There's an affidavit by
Schneider.
David Schneider attached. On or about the
Not
same
Rob
time,
Schneider. Just want to point that out.
On or about the same time, he sent an email to David W. Schneider, your author, requesting an extension to answer until January 31st. In neither communication did defendant deny the factual allegations within the complaint against him. Your author did not respond to defendant's phone call or email, in part because your author was not present in the office from December 28th until January 9, 2023.
That's a pretty long time to not be in the office.
Yeah, well, it's a week and a few days. An extension to answer was not granted. Um, when I first saw this, and I was just like, there's no way he's gonna file for an extension, and he'll get it because one, counsel, opposing counsel are supposed to, um, I don't know, play nice about these sort of things,
Yeah. Or else they get
extensions
like
and the such.
admonished from the judge. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Like they're supposed to grant the extension when requested by the other side.
Hi, Fally. Yeah, that's pretty, that's pro forma. Nick made it clear that he was acting in pro se, didn't have an attorney yet, you know. And so as his own attorney, Schneider was required to, you know, basically accommodate him, right? So Nick on
Yeah.
it's the 13th.
Yes. He filed this extension.
Over the weekend, I think.
Yes.
Um,
And it was granted.
yeah. So defendant still has not received a response via phone or email, which is, you know, that's I guess Schneider's trying to out Dick Rekieta, which isn't going to work. But um, apparently, according to Nick, he was never told that the guy was out of the office, unavailable. Um, the only question that I really have is why why on January 13th, which was his deadline to answer, right? He goes down, he physically went to this guy's office and he wasn't there. But
Yeah, why didn't he just file then with
why
the
didn't
court?
he immediately go to the courthouse and file an extension? I
Well,
mean,
I
he
guess
could have
because he
he
didn't
should
have
have
to.
known. Well, he could have.
Yeah,
And
but he
then
didn't
this
have
whole
to. It's not
thing
like it
wouldn't
didn't
be.
work out regardless. Like,
Well, yeah, but this whole thing wouldn't have happened because what happened is because he didn't file on the 13th for an extension, right?
mhm.
Then Monty's lawyers filed for the default. And even though he got the extension, um, he was ordered to pay reasonable cost to plaintiff directly related to the late request for extension.
Well, that sucks.
So what he ends up having to do is he has to pay Monty back for paying for his attorney to file the default,
Yes. Well, that
right?
sucks, but I'm sure it's not
It
an insane
sucks.
amount.
It's but it's a goodly chunk of change for someone who's talking about setting up a GoFundMe to pay for his legal fees, right?
No, he doesn't want to do a GoFundMe. He wants to raise money through a fun way for his audience. He wants to make his audience, his pay piggies, giving him money for the lawsuit, fun for them.
Can you imagine?
I don't have
That's
to.
just crazy. It's just crazy.
It's reality.
And then 2 days ago, it says filed on 119. It didn't show up on the website till today. Nick now has a local attorney, which is part of the reason why he was filing pro se, right? He's trying to hire Mark Rendazza as his attorney.
Yes.
And Rendazza's not licensed to practice in the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, but that's not
And
like uncommon.
no, it's not uncommon at all. I'm not saying it's a big deal, but there are certain hoops that you have to go through for the courts in order to do that, right?
Like this
So,
filing.
yeah, most almost all that I know of, courts require you to have an attorney who's licensed to practice in that state. So in actuality, Nick has to hire two attorneys, a local attorney, and
Himself,
then
possibly?
no, it can't be
No?
himself.
Okay, I was just
No, I don't.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that
Yeah,
works.
representing yourself is probably not a
Well,
good
yeah, but
idea.
that's why he would just be
I
there
mean,
for like
he's
the
the shitty.
technicality, but then like Rendazza. That's
It's
what I was
racket.
thinking, but like I don't know.
Rackets would fuck that part up.
I mean, he could still fuck
Let's
it
be
up.
real.
He's the client.
Yeah. So he's got his local attorney now. Rendazza's application or motion for admission, pro hoc vitae, was accepted by the judge today, I think. So he now has competent counsel.
Yes. The incompetent lawyer has competent lawyer.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Maybe
Good for
even,
him.
maybe even two.
Good for
So
him.
I know. But damn, that Monty is just fucking weird.
It was weird. It was very weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Made even weirder by the really shit music. I tried to scrub that out so I could put something else in, but there was too much noise in the recording and it kept dropping words instead. It was just all the wrong pitch for it. The AI was not happy.
it was not. It was not happy.
It was not at all. I wasn't happy having to watch that shit either.
No. So we have Art Bell says Nick might try to pay with Ribbit Coin, the best grift currency out there. Over 10 hours of streaming and 3 shows in the last 24 hours by EVS, aka QVC. Books are late, yet an endless supply of pay chat shows, of course. It's how I sell stuff to you, except books.
It's true. He really it really is CG's QVC on Ethan's channel.
He says, Art Bell says, two of Big Daddy's channels seem to be down, even the one that only talks about space age, outer limit subjects. Yes, I believe that Big Daddy took them down himself, and he's now going back to his original channel.
Yeah, he's just gonna have the main Big Daddy channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he decided to kill those himself. They weren't taken down.
Yeah. So now we're going to be talking about another follow-up. Last week, we talked about EVS on his trademark.
Yeah.
And so we have a follow-up to that as well. But before we do that, here's JDA. Oh, no,
wait, Montagraph.
Oh,
Montagraph is...
I love ComicsGate. It really has made my life a whole lot better. And I'm also going to work. I'm also going to work to take legal action against some of these people who lie about it, because it's now my brand.
Yes.
So there maybe Wikipedia might be receiving some letters from my attorney, and maybe some other people who have decided to maliciously slander my brand will be receiving notes from my lawyer. And anyone involved, by the way, heads up, anyone who was involved in any way with what Preston did, you will be hearing from my lawyer. You might not be expecting it. I'm warning you to expect it right now. Anyone who utilized the brand in a way that was malicious back then will be hearing about it. So warning, some of us are friends now, but that's the way it goes.
You've got to follow through, or you're not defending the brand. And as soon as you don't defend it, then it gives people leeway to use it for what they want.
The JDA thing, I will tell you this. I called JDA and I said, we got a problem, right? And he's like, mm-hmm. I was like, okay, so how many copies of Robotoad Rec Manlet are there out there? JDA was forthcoming and was just like, there were 150 that I printed. I'm selling them through Walmart, Amazon. I said, okay, shut those down. Destroy every copy of Rec Manlet. You can reprint it, but reprint it without the logo on the back. I don't want it to seem like, oh, you don't like being parodied. Ethan's very sensitive. I'm a very sensitive man, but not about things like that. Feel free to parody, satire, anything that I do, cyber fraud. But yeah, that logo is going to be the source of somebody's extreme pain. And I don't want it to be somebody who's decided they want to be a part of the community or anything like that. Sager says it's still on the Walmart site. I saw him issue a request to take it down. He said he got a response that says it'll take 5 to 7 days. So we will see that it is no longer for sale anywhere. And if it is for sale, it needs to be for sale without the logo on the back. and that is fine. Yeah, I'm not out to hurt pretty much anyone who is actually trying to be ComicsGate and make this place better. I want them to feel welcome here, certainly, and to feel free to use the trademark. Just ask first. Just make sure that it's you have permission to use it first and foremost. So, Robert Romano, merciful. That is right for him. The other guy I haven't dealt with yet. Chris, I haven't dealt with yet. Preston, we're going pedal to the metal. This was his thing. He's in real trouble. It's on Amazon too. I know. It's all coming down. Anyway, that's what I want to tell you guys. That's what this is about. And I'm personally excited about fighting for this. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Rainey, to Narwhal. Think about all we've given up for this. Think about all the fighting that's gone on, all the cancel culture, the blacklisting, the shunning. Like, what do we
the gaslighting?
Gaslighting. We're ComicsGate.
A lot of that. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, but there's like one problem with that. Vicky, do you want to explain?
Well, let me just, before we get into that, I kept to the end of that video where he talks about the blacklisting and the shunning and the gaslighting. And as they're saying that, all I can think of, like, that's all we've gotten from CG for 5 fucking years. Right? I mean, I was just like, ugh. But yeah, so there is a slight problem with JDA being able to track down and destroy all of these books. Now he says that, he's selling them on Amazon and Walmart, of all places. But it's not him. Like, he's selling his own book through his Amazon portal, but he goes through Ingram Sparks. They do all of his printing, they do his distribution, and they sell his books to other distributors. Now, how do we know this? Well, it all goes back to when he ran the campaign for Six Scale Combat's Napalm Brothers 2. I don't know if any of you guys remember. I'm sure Thomas does. There was a huge dust up after because they had broken up, and apparently Six's books were still being sold on Amazon, but not by JDA, because Ingram Sparks, who he used as the printer and had them distribute them, sold them to other distributors. So really, I found at least 2 other websites, and I didn't save the screenshots, and I got a little lazy about it. But 2 other websites that were selling Robotoad that weren't Amazon or Walmart. And I can still get it from Walmart. As of this morning, if I really wanted another copy of that shitty fucking book, I could have it here in my local Walmart by Sunday.
So you're saying he lied to Ethan in order to not have to deal with the legal ramifications of his actions?
There's a good chance.
There's a good chance. Okay.
John Delarose lied to Ethan Van Sciver.
In order to not face the ramifications.
In order to get himself out of trouble regarding the ComicsGate TM that he had on the back cover of Robotoad that was fraudulent because it was Preston Poulter's.
Huh. That's pretty messed up, I mean.
Goodness gracious. And the Chris he's talking about is Chris T. Hiroshak.
I like that guy.
I like Chris too. He's a nice guy. And now that I said that, Ethan's gonna go after him full bore when it's not necessary. But he had a book too that was not only, he's the one that drew that infamous ComicsGate logo for Preston. And he had a book that had the Preston's ComicsGate trademark on it. But Chris's books, excuse me, they all sell print on demand through Amazon, so he could very easily, um, you know, rectify that, and he probably already has.
I'd
I don't know. I
imagine,
haven't.
yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine he has. I haven't checked his Amazon store. Like I said, I've been feeling a little lazy. It was an irritating day. And so, for him, switching it out is easy. It's not like he doesn't have to have a bonfire of books because literally he just prints on demand.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a shit ton of overstock sitting around that he has to worry about.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, but I wouldn't go after Chris. One, he's a really nice guy. Um, he's not very knowledgeable. Unlike JDA, who's supposed to know how all this shit works and claims to know how all this shit works. Chris is still like young, just getting into doing this. Well, I mean, it's been a few years now. But, so he isn't really aware of any of this stuff and took Preston at his word. He wouldn't be the first person. So,
Yeah. I want to address this chat from Risey. He says, Dean lied to me that he would never love another man. That's untrue. I distinctly remember me saying that I will go on to love several men. Several hundreds of other men at the same time. A lot of them at the same time, Risey. So, just, I don't know if that's going to be an issue, but hopefully not. Morg says,
I was there. I heard him say it.
Yeah, Morg says, I think they should keep JDA instead of releasing him back into the wild. He's so short. The little guy probably wouldn't make it out there. This is the same, probably. The same guy threw out his back playing tennis. So, probably wouldn't make it out there. Dean not showing me his sexy legs. I'm going to watch Purple Hair. I don't know what that... the Filipino ladyboy. Okay, all right.
The Twitch thought.
Yeah, the Filipino ladyboy.
Yeah.
And our last subject for tonight was one that I was supposed to prepare a video of. And Vicky's about to be very disappointed because I did not tell her. I was not able to get to the video, but recently we talked about Logan Paul and his crypto scam. Now, Logan Paul was very mad at YouTuber CoffeeZilla.
Yeah, we went over that. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
We did.
Oh,
I'm
we
just
went
giving
over-
a recap, Vicky.
Yes, I was just gonna say we went over his video, I think, didn't we?
We did.
Trying to attack CoffeeZilla for pointing out
The crypto
problems,
the crypto
the problems with the crypto scheme.
scam.
Schemes and scams.
Schemes and scams.
Schemes and
Now,
scams.
shortly after we did the stream and stuff, it turns out Logan Paul apologized to CoffeeZilla. He gave him a call and apologized. So we weren't able to cover that, but it happened, I want to say the same day. But he then went on to issue a public apology.
On his secondary channel.
On his secondary channel. Yeah.
With just a few, tens of thousands instead of however many hundreds or thousands, possibly million subs that he has on his primary.
Yeah, he took down the original response. He, on his secondary channel, he put up the apology. And he also stated that he would be refunding some of the money to some of the people burned. But there's problems with that. We'll get into that. The real issue, though, is that in his original response, which he's now taken down, he may have, it looks very much like he defamed the dev of CryptoZoo. And this is the dev statement. It
Would you like me
says,
to read it, Tina?
what?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to go ahead, Vicky. Thank you. I don't need your permission, okay? Piece of shit. But anyways, he says,
I'm not the one that didn't do my homework, Tina.
update. Logan has finally removed the defamatory video. Thank you all for the support. Dear friends and colleagues, as some of you may have seen, I have been personally attacked by blogger Logan Paul on his YouTube channel. As I care deeply about the well-being, reputations, and continued success of all of my colleagues, partners, investors, and our associated work, I am writing to address the core of his claims here. Firstly, I made mistakes 20 years ago, which I deeply regret, and yes, these gave me a criminal record. I have since been granted an expungement and have worked very hard to move forward in my life and career. I believe that everyone has the right to lead a dignified life, and I have worked very hard to build a decent life for myself, my family, and everyone around me. I speak openly with friends, colleagues, and investors about my history, who have and continue to express support for me and my work. Secondly, I am an investor in and original CTO of CryptoZoo. The devs are still owed over $1 million by CryptoZoo and 5% tokens. I am happy to share the GitHub, which shows it was indeed a heroic effort by over 30 folk. In fact, Logan used my good name and reputation in the crypto community to raise money for this project. I worked really hard on CryptoZoo, and we all wished for it to be successful. We quit the project because Logan didn't pay us for our services rendered. In closing, I would like to sincerely thank everyone for the outpouring of support that I have received in the last few days in light of these attacks. My legal counsel and I will be following up with Logan and the CryptoZoo team to address these claims directly. All my best, Zach.
That was beautiful, Dean.
Thank you. Now, there was also a conversation that he had with somebody, a YouTuber that's been covering this. So let me just pull that up because I forgot to. So it says, hey Zach, my name is Mutahar from the channel Some Ordinary Gamers. Do you have any comment on if you were arrested, according to Logan Paul back in 2001, for charges involving armed robbery? And Zach responds, my record is expunged. I can confirm Logan lied in his latest video about multiple things. Something I did as a teenager 20 plus years ago. Not super relevant in this context. And then he goes on to say, it's reckless defamation on he doesn't even know what he's saying. Robbed a liquor store. I didn't rob a liquor store. Stole code. No, he refused to pay anything after leading on a team of 30 plus people. 3 people, lol. Cherry pick, lies, manipulates outright just wrong. You can't even Google Zach Kelling plus mugshot and find anything. I've had it removed everywhere. 20 plus years ago, teenage mistakes not relevant for 20 plus years. And then it goes on. Actually, no, that's the end of that. But as it turns out, once a Kansas court grants an expungement, the court orders the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, KBI, to notify the FBI and any other criminal justice agencies. Only certain state agencies and criminal courts have the authority to access the expunged records. So the fact that Logan Paul somehow got a hold of the expunged records could be a major problem for him.
Could be a real legal problem for him.
As well as the supposed defamation that it very much looks like he did. So that is some interesting stuff. In fact, Kelling had an update, and it says, it didn't take long for Logan's fans to start stalking me and threatening my life. Please direct all threatening messages to the comments here so we can keep them all organized and everyone can enjoy the vitriol. And if he has proof of these claims, that could really, really be a problem if he does for Logan Paul, if he does decide to sue him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I did notice in Logan Paul's apology was there was no mention of paying these devs.
Yeah, that's true. And
Right.
also the apology, the plan in which he sets out to pay, like it was like 1.7 million, doesn't actually cover any of the investors who have sold already their zoo tokens. Only the people that held on to it.
Well, it doesn't count for any of the people with the zoo tokens.
Oh.
Right? Was it
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, it's just the NFT people.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
only covering some losses for the people who actually hatched, right? I guess.
Yeah, and it
And
doesn't
have
cover really.
have eggs and hatched, but you know, of course, you had the people who paid with E who couldn't hatch. I don't know if they can now, but all those people who bought the zoo tokens, the zoo coins, they're left out in the cold.
Yeah, and anybody that's sold and doesn't have anything anymore are also left out.
Yeah.
So.
But he tried claiming, I don't know if you have that. He tried claiming in his Discord that these zoo tokens were never a oh, what did he call it? An investment something or other. It's late, my brain's shutting down. But of course they were. They were meant to be an investment because, you know, the entire team bought that shit up to make money off of it. Came up with rules about how much they could buy and when to buy and what not to do and what to do because it was supposed to make money. You
Yeah.
were supposed to make money off of that shit. That's why people bought them, was to make fucking money.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just slimy. The whole thing is just fucking slimy.
It is.
You
It is
know?
slimy.
Who goes to work with Crypto King, the same guy that, you know, had you way overspend for a fucking Pokemon card?
Yeah, for real.
You know? So, I just don't guess. I mean, I could see why these, you know, people would maybe go along with this shit, but after the first one, right, that went bad, it's like buying Wrecked Planet after you got fucked over with Cyberfrog.
It's like buying a fucking hat for $50.
$50.
Like, that's insane. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to. Actually, let's watch a little bit of the video that CoffeeZilla put out about the apology from Logan Paul, because I thought it was kind of interesting. Are you ready? Are you ready, chat? Chat.
Oh, God.
Ready, chat? All right, let's do it. Let's blam.
He is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, more like an internet criminal.
Oops, wrong video. That was the first response. He actually apologized in another response.
It's like a little knack. It's like a little.
This was funny.
The defamation lawsuit. That is happening because this is wrong. This is wrong.
Hold on, wait a second. That's not it either. Turns out it's actually on his secondary channel. That's why I couldn't find it. It's entitled Thank You Coffeezilla. It's the third response from Logan Paul, and it's a pretty big change in Logan's attitude so far. So let's see what he has to say to us.
Coffeezilla is not a criminal.
Oh, that's a relief. I thought Logan was going to hire
That's
him.
funny.
But in all seriousness, this video does have some major admissions in it I want to go through. For one, Logan apologizes to me.
I called him. I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire and ego.
Not only that, Logan also pledges a $1.3 million refund plan for people who bought his NFTs.
I am personally committing 1,000 ETH to this, which is about $1.3 million.
In addition to that, he also promises to finish CryptoZoo, which was left abandoned.
And then step 3, obviously finish and deliver the game as outlined in the white paper.
Now, I'll be honest, this is a big change in tone, and honestly, a lot of this is good news. It's great that victims are going to get something back. Logan seems to acknowledge his continuous lapse in judgment. He's not suing me, which is also cool. This new response is just way better than his last two. I think we can all acknowledge that, while also acknowledging that it's not really a perfect response either. There are still major problems here. Like, for example, many of the victims just have been ignored in this response. A lot of accusations have gone unanswered, and worse, Logan still seems to be playing the victim a lot. So in this video, I'm going to do my best to give Logan credit where credit is absolutely due, while also sharing moments where I think this apology fell flat. And let me start with a positive. For example, I think if you are an outsider who is not affected by this scam and you wanted a reason to love Logan Paul again, I think this nails it. I mean, he's giving back some of the money, he's apologizing. So if you're a card-carrying member of the Low Gang, you can rest easy here. Logan says he's sorry, he says
The Low Gang.
Right. And I think that's the point of this video, is to speak to his core audience, to tell them he didn't scam anyone. And for what it's worth, I think Logan succeeds here. The problem is, I don't think I or the CryptoZoo holders were who Logan was really addressing here. And this is where the response falls more flat, because he doesn't adequately address the real victims of CryptoZoo, which I think they're rightfully angry about. And I wanted to spend some time talking about that because, again, they've been the heartbeat of this whole story, and they feel very differently about this response than Logan's core audience does. They don't feel like it's enough. And I want to talk about,
all right,
starting with the $1.3 million.
Let's just take a pause for a second. Scaloni asks, does Sheila Aliens still make house calls? You could hit up her email.
She's still on that website.
She still goes online on that website. So, yeah.
On that website, yeah.
And her email is there for you to inquire within.
It is all in her thread on Kiwi Farms.
Within her wide halls.
Oof.
Which
are getting wider. Yeah.
Yeah, wider. Oh, jeez. Bicky Bogan says, anyone see Razorfist committing YouTube seppuku with his recent video?
No, I don't actually watch Razorfist's content.
Yeah, I'm actually curious what you're talking about. Michael responds to that and says, yeah, Razorfist is now a sinking boat YouTube channel.
God, I wish I knew what happened.
And Morg responds, Cecil might know about whether or not Sheila Aliens still makes house calls. He just very well might.
He might.
Yeah. And then Bicky Bogan says that's okay for Razorfist. Vox and Owen can hang out in Switzerland with him. All right.
Payment plan. Because obviously this is the strongest part of Logan's entire response, actually opening up his wallet. And I don't want to minimize that in this video. I just do want to put it in context because $1.3 million is a lot of money. Unfortunately, the scam was much bigger than $1.3 million. So the fact is, most victims are not going to be made whole by this plan. Just in Zoo Coins alone, blockchain evidence shows $7.7 million was stolen by Logan's team, depending on who you believe. And this refund does nothing for those victims. It doesn't even apply to the holder of Zoo Coins at all. You get nothing if you bought this in-game currency. This refund only applies to current egg holders. So they can cash out that NFT for the initial mint price in crypto, which matters sort of because crypto has crashed a lot. So even though people spent $2.5 million on these eggs, in order to refund all these holders at mint price, it now only costs $1.3 million in today's money, which again is nice, but doesn't do enough because the Zoo Coins were most of this scam. I mean, that's where most of the money was spent. It wasn't just on the NFTs. It was on this in-game currency, which Logan seems to have no intention of refunding. And his response for why is pretty bad. He responds to somebody who lost $80,000 who told him, "I hope this isn't just doing what you have to do technically to not get sued." Logan replies with a screenshot of his white paper and later explains to another member of the Discord, "I believe there has been a misconception here. As outlined in the white paper, Zoo was created to support CryptoZoo and was not intended to be an investment vehicle. When you sold or bought is not my decision." And look, to be fair to him, there was a misconception that Zoo was an investment vehicle, but it's a misconception that he created. I mean, he's the one who said CryptoZoo was a fun game that earned you money, and how it earned you that money was that your NFTs earned you Zoo tokens. You know, things that were supposed to have value. That was the whole point of the game. So to suggest that these coins weren't advertised as valuable or an investment vehicle is insane, especially since Logan's own team had rules for selling based strictly on the value of said investment vehicle. Quote, rules for selling, no selling until a $200 million market cap. So I think it's fair to say if Logan's own team were buying Zoo Coins early, waiting for them to go up in value to a certain level and then selling them, that sounds like an investment vehicle, albeit a very stupid one. So this explanation definitely doesn't hold water, and Logan obviously just doesn't want to be on the hook for Zoo Coins. Instead, he just kind of wants to refund the much smaller part of the NFTs. What makes this even worse is that this refund doesn't even apply to everyone who bought these NFTs, because some of these people sold their NFTs at a deep loss thinking that CryptoZoo was over, that it was abandoned, and there's actually a way you could have tracked this whole thing, or Logan could have, and, you know, found a way to repay all the people who lost money on eggs. But instead, this refund only applies to current holders, meaning nobody who sold during the year and a half this project was abandoned gets anything back, which is a large percentage of the actual victims. And this is pretty bad. This was brought to Logan's attention by one of the people in the Discord. Joao says, quote, "Logan Paul, what will happen to the people who sold everything at a loss when the project appeared to be, quote, abandoned? Will everyone who minted be able to get that refund, or just the current owners?" Now, in reply to this, someone in the Discord said, "If you sell, you lose common investing knowledge." And Logan replies, seeming to agree with this idea, which is just kind of a terrible perspective for Logan to have when he seems to be saying that he wants to refund these people, and he's the reason a lot of these people left. And this is where Logan's new apology starts to ring more hollow. It's in all of the follow-ups after the response video, because I don't know if he can help himself from betraying how he really feels about this, because in another Discord exchange, Logan says, "Please do not put any more money into CryptoZoo," which, by the way, is quite reasonable to say. But then somebody follows up and says, "Guys, can someone explain what he said with not investing?" But rather than replying, "Oh, guys, I just meant like I don't want anyone else losing money," or, you know, "I don't want anyone else recklessly gambling," Logan replies instead, quote, "I will no longer be the scapegoat for anyone's financial decisions," which is a wild response for someone who's claiming to refund.
Goodness
Because
gracious.
it implies that he thinks he's the victim here. And this
Yeah, and that's pretty much the gist of things. It's you know, a pretty bad apology. But
it was the apology video itself kind of sucked. Like,
yeah, it does ring hollow, as
it did. It
as
rang
CoffeeZilla,
hollow when I watched it.
as CoffeeZilla stated. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not that like the apology was bad. It's really more of like the follow up like CoffeeZilla said, and also the fact that anybody who sold is still screwed. Even though it's not really their fault they sold, it did seem abandoned, and that was because of the actions of Logan Paul and the people that he hired. So, pretty fucked.
There is some YouTube attorney that's trying to put together, I guess, a class action lawsuit against him.
Good.
I think there is some sort of arbitration clause with the crypto, so that may not be possible.
Unless they can prove that the arbitration, that like the actions are like really outside of the norm of most of these user agreements, then they can get past that arbitration, which I think they might really have a good
be able to.
Yeah,
do.
because this is kind of outside of the norm.
I want to say he's like Attorney Tom, or I don't know what the guy's name is. That but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to get involved with some
YouTube lawyer.
YouTube lawyer that goes by the name of
Yeah. Law and
Trade.
Lumber or some shit like that, one of these YouTube fucking grifter lawyers. Yeah, that would suck. But they should take action,
really
though.
suck.
I do feel for them, because it's
Yeah.
pretty fucked.
It is very fucked. So Razor Fist did an anti-Abraham Lincoln video.
Yeah, that's what I was reading from the
That
chat.
was a few days ago. I thought he did something today. but
Well,
yeah.
apparently, though, it's really landed him in some hot water.
Oh, it's sort of bubbling up on Twitter and stuff. He blocked me. I don't know why.
I do. You're a bitch.
I probably deserved it.
Yeah,
so
you
I
probably
don't,
did.
Yeah,
You suck.
I do.
Yeah,
I
but your
do
audio
indeed.
sounds really good, Vicky.
Thank you, Dean.
No problem.
Kaiser Crimson, I think that was Kaiser Crimson, said something about e-thoughts. Did Mandy ever figure out what the days of the week were? That calendar's way too late to be just a bunch of trashy photos. The calendar is Anna's and not Mandy's. And I don't even think she's managed to work out months, nevertheless weeks or days. Because it's now the end. It's January 21st over here where I am, and that calendar hasn't been seen by a single solitary
How
backer.
are you late
you
on
fuck that
2
shit up?
calendars?
In a row, man. Calendars.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Time is
At
not
those
for everybody,
prices-
guys. Time is not for everybody.
No,
that's-
especially at those prices, I mean, it's your typical CG pricing, though, isn't it? You've got a $30 comics, $35 baseball caps, $55 baseball caps, $70 t-shirts, $80 t-shirts. Yeah, it's all. Nothing says grift like $80 for a fucking t-shirt. And that's not even Ethan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Risey says I think he means everyone always crying about money. If you get sucked into a grift, it's on you. Learn from it. I agree and disagree, right? Like, if you get sucked into a grift, totally. But this isn't a grift. This was fraudulent, which is a big difference.
Oh, the Crypto Zoo, not the calendar. Okay.
Oh, wait, unless he's talking about the calendar. Well, then, yeah, I totally agree. But if it's talking about the Crypto Zoo stuff, this was legit fraudulent. It was a scam. There's a difference between grifting and fraud. Although grifting, although fraud is a grift, I guess. It is the illegal grift. So, I don't know. Vicky Bogan says, called Lincoln a dictator and a few other things, but Razor has had a few screws loose for a while. teaming up with Vox Day, gross, like JDA, and Owen Benjamin to sell his weirdo fantasy books was an indicator.
Yeah,
Michael,
well, his little weirdo fantasy books are really shit.
yeah, Michael says he's always had a hate boner for Abe Lincoln, and then follows that up with, Lincoln probably fucked his grandma. Well, okay then. Probably. It was a different time back then, guys. Simple Jack Live says, YouTube attorney said he would, I think he means he would
every case.
take every case. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, well, okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing says ambulance chasing.
I mean, but this isn't really ambulance chase. Like, those people do deserve their money. However, this does scream like a clout-hungry YouTube lawyer.
Well, the problem with a class action lawsuit
As they all have to
is
split
that
it, and then they still have to pay the lawyer.
there's nothing. Like the
Yeah,
lawyers get
the lawyers take everything for the most
almost
part.
everything.
Yeah.
And you end up with, maybe a
Like 1/100th
1,000
of like $1,000.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
okay,
horrible.
it
It's
is.
a horrible return on your time investment to become the plaintiff in a class action lawsuit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a waste of your time, pretty much. Speaking
Yeah,
of
pretty much.
other guys besides Razor who have connections to Vox Day, JDA. Yeah,
We did talk about that. Yes. And why back JDA's books when you can read them for free
on Vox Day's
Day's
website.
website?
And what's that website?
ArkToons. ARKTOONS.
But an even better question is, why read JDA's books for free on Arkhaven when you could not read them at all?
Not reading them at all is probably a better bet.
Probably a better bet.
Probably a better bet.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we have him. Michael says
I love
Razor
that damn thing.
Actually, Morg says, I heard she lost 3 months researching the months of the year for the second calendar in case they changed. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought she was behind because the first calendar was late, and so she was like confused about the time. And so
What's
she
gonna
still
happen when-
thinks that it's like, November.
Isn't next year a leap year?
Is it?
I think so. I know she's doing a calendar for next year. That's really going to fuck her up.
That's going to be really funny if she fucks that up.
Yeah.
I hope she does. Michael says Razor Fist can't accept that his grandma betrayed the Confederacy by fucking Abe Lincoln. That's fucked.
Thank you, Michael. That was hilarious.
Vic says, need more viewers. Well,
Yeah.
I think we're just happy we have you, Vic. I don't know why, but we are.
We are.
Vicky Bogan says, Shart Tunes. Michael says, I'm better off not reading JDA crap. Exactly. That was my point.
See? Yes.
And then
I've made the mistake of doing it, and it was horrible.
Yeah, Vicky talks over me again. But Vic says, I never liked JDA, Flying Sparks, Gay, Space, Lame Shit, Conan. And then Conquest Comics. Liam himself says, should I make a calendar? Can I be sexier than Mandy? I feel like as long as Mandy's talking, most people can be sexier than her. So, just want to put that out there. And then he puts, is that a content face? Is that uncontent face? What is uncontent? Anyways, doesn't matter. Thanks.
Not a word.
Thanks for watching, Liam. Vic says, how does someone become a fan of JDA? Doesn't make sense. Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
That is a good question, though.
Vicky Bogan says, is that actually Liam Gray or an alt pretending to be Liam Gray? That's a good point. There are a lot of alt accounts. Let me see. I can find out. Yeah, no, that's Liam. Cool. Well, it's nice to have you, Liam. But guys, it has been a wonderful time serving as your host.
Maybe next week we'll be on time.
Maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. I would not
Me
count
neither.
on it.
I would so not count on it.
Yeah.
Don't
But
place
also don't
bets.
be late in case we are here on time. Because you'll miss half an hour. Just how these things go. You stay here, you guys come to the stream, and then you wait, and I'll be as long as I fucking need to be, and you'll just fucking be happy for when I show up, okay? Thank you all. You all have a wonderful night.
Have a great night,
Or don't.
everybody. See you
Or
next
don't.
week.
Or don't.
Well, I
It's
think
not my
you should. I
problem.
think you should at least try.
I don't actually care. It's really up to you. I'm not gonna give a shit if you have a bad or good time. It's not my fucking problem. Yeah, all right. You all have a wonderful night. We'll see you all
Good
next
night.
week. Vicky, can I just finish a sentence
No, you cannot.
before you
Dean.
fuck
I am
just
not
fuck
gonna let you
off?
fucking
Jesus
finish.
Christ.
Jesus.
All right.